Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here at Banknote Trading, where we take a look at the US dollar pairs in the Forex market. Today, we'll start by taking a look at Euro USD on the 4-hour chart, and we'll start with mapping out the current range. And this is the overall range we've been dealing with. As prices continue to make higher highs, it's the overall swing structure. Prices continue to trade sideways. Market structure started to break down. Sellers started to step back in where supply is in control, pushing prices back down. Finally came back down in a discount and hit this area of demand. Buyers reacted from it, but as you can see, fractally, internally, it did start to, on this 4-hour chart, it started to become a bullish chart. It's fractally bullish on the 4-hour chart, but the highs that it has reached hasn't broken past the highs of the smaller range than the structure. So swing structure overall is still bullish because this was the low that broke the highs and formed this overall structure. So still looking for any type of buying opportunities, but right now, if the buyers step back in, they weren't able to take out any significant highs. Once this does happen, then I'll be looking for any type of buying opportunity in correlation with DXY dollar index and the other US dollar pairs. But for now, it's possible as prices continue to trade sideways in this range, we look for any type of selling opportunities because this demand area that buyers reacted from hasn't been able to continue to push forward. It's possible that these lows can be targeted of the overall range, but again, that's still in correlation with the other pairs. But most likely, if it does start to push prices higher, then I'll be looking for a type of buying opportunities at this time. But prices could continue to trade lower once it starts to break through and take out the liquidity sitting under these lows. GBP USD, go to map out the current range. The overall structure, just like with Euro, this price continue to trade sideways, making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. But once this support started forming, start to make this the current range. As structure started to break down, it's different with the Euro because it already broke down into discount. This hasn't gone down to the discount of the overall range. I was looking for any type of selling opportunities, but now you look, if you can see the overall picture, it could be a reaccumulation, as this could be considered a spring, starting to break past the start to break structure to the upside. And again, this is all the correlation with the other US dollar pairs. Liquidity sitting over these highs. Definitely once it starts breaking past this strong lower high, this lower high from this high, then it should, there's high probability that it could target the highs of the overall range. So I'll be looking for some buying opportunity. Even now, this is if this plays out to be the spring, Wyckoff spring, then this would be considered that the liquidity sweep of these lows, and this is the new higher low for this impulse. So it does start to prices do start to trace higher, then I will be looking for buying opportunities. But again, it's in correlation with the dollar index, any of the US dollar pairs. If they are correlated, then in a way that the dollar pushes stronger, then I'll be looking for just to hold off on any type of taking any opportunity until we can see a clear direction. AUD USD. Let's go and map out the current overall range. So prices continue to consolidate sideways and started to break out. Came back, took out some liquidity under the lows, but structure support still formed under these lows, and buyers started to react from it. Broke structure to the upside. But once these buyers started reacting from this area of support, like I said, it did break structure, but they weren't able to go ahead and break past the highs. So technically it's still in the sideways range, not a trending market. As you can see, this continued. This was the consolidated structure sideways previously. Prices broke out and came back in, and now it's continuing to trade within this consolidated structure. So not really in a trending market right now, but once price does make a decision, if it can break down past these lows, past support, looking for a type of buying opportunity. If it does retrace back down to discount, but like I was saying with the other, just like with the other pairs, it doesn't have to. If buyers can pick back up and start taking out the liquidity sitting over these highs, we'll be looking to take out the highs of the overall range. NZD USD. Let's go ahead and map out the current overall range. And this hasn't retraced back into discount either, but just like with pound GBP USD, can say that this, since it started to break structure to the downside, this was the support that was formed, and this is the high of that overall structure. And these buyers stepped back in; they weren't able to take out that high, and structure started to break down to the downside. This clearly support was broken through, and now it broke structure to the downside again. But these buyers stepped back in. This is an impulsive move from the buyers. Structures did start to break to the upside. Buyers stepped back in, but now it has retraced back within this impulse more than 50%. You can look at it like that. Expecting these prices to continue down and target the lows of this of where that impulse started. But again, looking for any correlation with the other dollar pairs to see if these lows can be targeted, and then the prices go back down to discount, targeting the area of demand. GBP AUD. Let's go ahead and map out the current range. So as we've been saying, sellers step back in here, price consolidated sideways, then market structure started to break down to the downside, then taking out all the lows under this previous structure. But since it didn't go ahead and break structure to the downside, this is the current 4-hour range, which is the swing structure is bearish. The selling opportunity once it did retrace back into premium and started to break down further, but prices weren't able to take out the lows of the overall range. So buyers step back in here, starting to push prices higher, start to take out the liquidity sitting over these highs. If it does start to push back into premium more, we're looking for any type of reaction, a bearish momentum shift once it does hit any area of supply. And GBP NZD, similar chart, but let's go and map out the current range. And just overall picture, we know that previously liquidity sitting under these lows, higher highs, higher lows. And once these buyers weren't able to take out the highs, the seller stepped back in and broke structure to the downside, which makes this swing structure bearish. It's forming a descending wedge in which liquidity is sitting over these highs. Buyers step back in, but again, the swing structure is still bearish. So expecting any type of retracement back into premium didn't happen. Well, it hasn't happened yet, but at this point it hadn't happened. And so they started to step back in, but these sellers weren't able to break past the lows of the overall swing structure, which, like I said, swing structure is bearish. Buyers step back in here, consolidated sideways, price consolidated sideways, and now that's a breakout toward the upside. But so on the 4-hour chart, the fractal structure is bullish. The internal structure is bullish because now the prices have broke out past internally the highs that was formed after the swing structure was formed. So internally it's bullish, but I'm not looking for any type of buying opportunities because the overall swing structure is still bearish. So if it does retrace back into premium, looking for any type of bearish momentum shift, this is the buy before the sell. Looks like it covers the entire area of premium. So looking for any type of bearish momentum shift once it does push higher, and look for any type of selling opportunities. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining us.